welcome to another topic analysis. This video we're going to talk about the April PF topic, which is resolved the United States federal government should substantially increase its investment in domestic nuclear energy. So starting off with some definitions. The USFG, or the federal government, simply refers to the actor of the resolution, and the second term of art inside of the resolution is domestic nuclear energy, which simply refers to the energy produced by nuclear power plants located within American borders. So now let's talk about affirmative ground. The division between aff and neg ground is very even, and I think that it's going to be a good debate for majority of these rounds because there's a lot of good literature and information for both sides. And the first type of affirmative argument is climate change, which is pretty intuitive. The argument is that increasing investment into nuclear energy would provide further initiatives to boost a reliable source of clean energy, which is nuclear, unlike solar or wind, which is solely dependent on the weather. So if the weather is sunny, then you would get a lot of electricity if you're only using solar power, but then you wouldn't have a lot of energy if it's very cloudy or rainy even. So that argument is that nuclear energy is far more sustainable, but it's also far more reliable because it's not weather dependent, which is the reason why a lot of countries are pushing towards nuclear energy programs. The second affirmative contention idea is job creation. The current state of American economic affairs is extremely fragile, so you have a good uniqueness push as to why we need economic reform. And in this case, you would not only solve climate change, but also increasing investment into startups and companies that provide nuclear energy would produce even more jobs and even long-term economic output. And so in this case, you would have two clear benefits, and there are multiple different benefits that would arise from these two central ones. And now let's talk about negative ground. The first negative contention idea is that of water consumption, because currently nuclear energy plants use billions of gallons of water per year, furthering concerns in water scarce areas. And although people may argue that you can just relocate the plants, the issue is that those plants still use a lot of water. And for many areas, they get water from valleys, reservoirs, and also from mountains. And so there are key central reservoirs that many different cities get their water from. And the issue is that those plants would siphon off the water from those reservoirs and also from the same regions that people depend on water for. The second negative contention idea is that of nuclear waste. And this scope of nuclear waste problems inside of the US has been relatively contained. But if you increase investments, that would increase the probability of nuclear fallout or even just contamination from occurring in many different areas across the US. And some notable examples is the Chernobyl reactor meltdown and also Japan's Fukushima disaster, which occurred when an earthquake shattered and broke a nuclear reactor that caused a meltdown. And this earthquake happened 15 years ago, but there's still contamination of radioactive waste that is polluting South Korea's oceans because Japan and South Korea are relatively close to each other. And so the argument is that if you increase nuclear energy, that increases the potential that waste or contamination would increase, and therefore it's not a favorable source of energy to invest in.